Hello and welcome back to Kevin Can't Play Today, the game show where everybody always loses. I'm your host, Kevin. Welcome back. I was going to try and do Lego City Undercover, but I found that in the time that we have been away from it, my save file got corrupted, so I'm currently trying to get back to where we were in the series, so that might take a minute. In the meantime, I've got just so many games that I have somehow I haven't even played a lot of them, let alone been able to show them off. Well, this thing's been not working, so because my laptop can't run the vast majority of them. Um, but this is one that I've been looking forward to getting, and I picked it up a few weeks ago, and I have not stopped playing it since. It's called Model Builder. Um, as a kid, loved building models. Recently, as an adult, I kind of took the hobby back up because it's a lot of fun. And honestly, I used to do it at work before that became undoable to pass time. Still work nights, so um, need something to fill those 12 hours when things were not happening. But anyway, so I picked up this game, which I can do at work because I can pause it, and I don't have to worry about leaving knives and having models dry or decals dry out or anything. So we'll get into it. Now I have been, and before I forget, like I did last time, we'll get rid of that. There we go. And into it. Here's our basement shop as it stands right now. Now I'm level 3. So I've done some things like this beautiful thing. If you're familiar with the game Frostpunk, they've got some content in here about their board game that they're kickstarting. And you get to make this cool generator model with glowing paint. Yeah, glowing paint. I want some in real life. Here's some of the other stuff we've done in the past. Our first miniature, cool steampunk tank. Neat. It's hard to see because it's so small over here. But kind of a road warrior type car. And the first model we put together before we even had paint. Why does it look like it's snowing in here? Must just be dust. I had never noticed that before. Then we've got a couple of the things we've worked on from our, because we inherited this all from our grandpa, like you do in most of these simulator games, who apparently is Stan Winston, with an E on the end. But for those who don't know films, Stan Winston did the models and animatronics for so many movies. The Alien franchise, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park. If it was a big hit, it was probably Stan Winston Studios that did a lot of this type of stuff. So anyway, you're taking over after your grandpa's, and look at the amount of detail that you can get. And that was at level 1, I think. I did these. So, you can get a lot of detail out of this stuff. A lot of fairly real. I mean, you can definitely tell that some of it is because of the digital format, but you can get a lot of detail out of this stuff. And at level 3, you get access to some really nice stuff like masking tape. So to let you know, we are doing some higher level stuff, and this is the one I wanted to do. This one hopefully shouldn't take us too terrible long, so I don't want the episode to take way too long. But this is what we have been commissioned to make. As a miniature, so we will be doing that. Here's our table, and first things first, we're going to cut out our pieces. Now I'm going to show you the two different ways of doing it. One is with the hobby knife, and this is the only option you have at first. I think at second level you get the snippers, or the sprue cutters as they call them here. Also nippers, side cutters, and a word I can't use on YouTube anymore, but it's the traditional word for it. But anyway, so yeah, here's our guy here. We're going to start with our painting. Now we have a lot of options here. We got a flood fill option, which is probably the most common. If you have a base pattern that you've bought from the computer that's an alternate color scheme, it will do just a base coat in that color scheme. Another upgrade we can get is the pattern tool, and let me change this a little bit, and it'll show you. Let's sharpen that. Let's just get a different, a little brighter color. There we go. And so you can get kind of a camo pattern going there. We're not going to be using that on this one. Then we have over here, we have the airbrush for airbrushing crap, which I think we'll do a little bit here. Regular paintbrush, dry brush, and wash tool, which are two of my go-tos. Masking tape, which is also really nice, which also has its own options, which we'll get into. Then the weird stuff, decal tool. We don't have any decals for this one. Painting sponge. Effects tool. If I didn't just break things. Oh, there it goes. Which you can use to add, like, make things look like real leather and stuff. Solvent for when you inevitably screw up and have to erase stuff. And then the ray gun, which, yeah, actually makes things glow with radiation. But it makes the colors that you've already painted glow instead of just using glowing paint. So there's a distinction there. Oh, and we forgot about these tools. Yeah, you got the file to remove excess crap, sandpaper to remove those scratches, polishing cloth, which makes matte paint shine, which is also nice, and then putty to fill in any cavities. So basically, a lot of the tools that you would have as a modeler. Especially on a professional scale. But yeah, let's get into it. And our guide here shows us kind of where to put the paint, and then it shows you when you have done it correctly. So we'll just start painting. Yep, that's all of that. The bones on the shoulder pad there, the horns, and the armor. All right, that part's done. Next, some more difficult parts. So we're going to be doing masking. Oh yeah, so you can actually use, I've bought a few patterns, some of which have some creative uses, and if you do get the game, I want to, because it took me forever and a lot of banging my head and screeching and wailing and gnashing of teeth, but if you do the square one, so you have that nice square. If you do this and change the aspect ratio, you can make strips. Which on some of the bigger models like planes and stuff, if you want to put a nice line on it, doing it this way, and if you reverse it, it goes sideways. Doing it this way gives you some nice crisp lines, which I didn't figure out until I just got mad and said, screw it, this might work, and it did. Miraculously. So yeah, that's a tip that if you do plan on playing the game, which I do highly recommend, that'll save you a ton of heartache. There's a couple models in particular I wish I'd have figured that out on sooner. So anyway, we just masked the whole thing off because it's sometimes easier to start that off, and then we'll go back to fragment mode, which is individual pieces. And we'll just erase it from the spots that we want to be working on, which looks like, yep, that's everything for this color. Um, Hold on a second. Oh, yep, forgot to turn the safeties on. Safety is a thing that makes you actually gives you a little load bar to show you that it's doing it. So in case you are putting stuff on the wrong spot, you can it gives you a second to change your mind. Anyway, we're going to be dry brushing some here, which brings out a lot of the nice detail. Especially dry brushing works with the raised detail. So you usually want to do it in a lighter color, so it looks kind of like, you know, like actual light is kind of glancing off and bringing out those natural details. And I usually do a QWE ASD pattern to it. I start with one angle. Oops. I undid that. Accidentally pushed one, which puts you at nothing in your hands. Because yeah, each of those letters on your keyboard kind of has a corresponding facing. Yeah, we're just going very Bob Ross. Happy little bumps. Yeah, you can see how that kind of brings out a lot of the natural texture of the model. Fortunately, the sound effects are kind of irritating if you're doing it for extended periods of time. But it's balanced with a pretty darn good soundtrack. A lot of good lo-fi and relaxation music. This is definitely a game to just kind of veg and enjoy and watch something come to life. Yeah, before getting the masking tape, it was just a lot of repaint and touch up, and it takes a lot more time. The masking tape is a big time saver, as it is in real life. Some of the things I like about this game is it uses a lot of like real life techniques, which a lot of simulator games don't bother with. Like sometimes you actually want to turn the wrench, you know, or push the button, or oops, dang it, no, too far down. Yeah, sometimes you want to shift it around a little bit to kind of get some details. Alright, that was those. Yep, there we go. And this just kind of spins it around, highlights, gets pretty much everything pretty good. Yeah, and sometimes you want to shift it around a little bit to give it just a be able to get some spots that you couldn't quite hit. Like this one, I want to get the side of his foot a little bit more, and the backs of the legs. There we go. That looks good. We're on the last facing for this step. Now, as you can see, it already passed us. It already said we did it. And you can leave it at that. I'm kind of particular, though. Bordering on OCD, so I like to do as much as I possibly can. So I go pretty hard in the paint, so to speak. Then we're going to mask that back off and remove the mask on the armor. And we'll get started on that step. But yeah, you don't have to do much to actually pass. However, to get a good score, you kind of do have to go as much as possible. And there are some of the quests or missions or whatever you get are competitions, and minimal effort will get minimal placing, and therefore minimal prizes. One of the few things that I could complain about the game is probably that competition system, because there's a lot of stuff where you can't really tell where you sit. So I'll do some think I did a pretty darn good job. I think I did first place work and get second. I don't think I've ever gotten third, but you know, I'll sometimes get second place and be like, what? Wait, that doesn't make much sense. Oops, I forgot to remove the piece of masking. There we go. Oops. Forgot to get that piece. The scales. Well, anyway, yeah, so like I said, that kind of bugs me, because it's like, well, if I'd have known that I needed to put more decals on, I would have put more decals on, you know? Or the instructions didn't say to add any weathering, so I didn't add any weathering. Now I just, you know, put weathering on pretty much everything. Which weathering is using the washes and the dry brushes to make it look used and realistic, as we are doing now. Because, you know, the bear armor, okay, that looks cool and brand new off the rack, but now it looks like our Dragonborn here has had this armor for a while and has seen a battle or two. Especially since it brings out, like, up here where there's the obvious notches and scratches in the armor from battles as battle scars. It really brings that out and makes it look used. And that's the point of the weathering, just to kind of give it a bit of realism, and like it's actually been somewhere, done something. There we go. We're just about done, I think, with this part. Oops. If I don't accidentally keep hitting the one button on my mouse. One of them fancy gamer mouses that has the numbers on them. And I'm not sponsored, but, you know, I've got two Red Dragon mouses, or mice, or however you want to say, and the original one I keep in my backpack with my laptop for taking to work with me. And I've got the same exact one, but a little bit newer, that I'm using at the moment. They're really good mouses for gaming. They're very durable and long-lasting. But yeah, so there we go. We've got him looking a bit more combat-y. Alright, switch to the back view. Alright, so not even the back view. There we go. The D view. Apply some wraps there. Okay, I think that's buckles. Yeah. And some belting, strapping, and the tail. There. What are we missing? Ah, it's ears. I knew there was some. There we go. This will probably be where we will be applying a lot of that. Alright, so get the eyeballs there. Alright, those are done. Get the teeths. Sharp, pointy teeths. Interior of the mouth. And the ear. And nostril. For a slightly lighter color. Again, yeah, showing off some of the... helps show off the details. All right, now, yeah, this is some of the painful part. The airbrushing. So again, we're going to coat everything. Unpeel that, and that. All right. So now we can work on just this stuff. Check something. Yep. It's going to want us to do it on both sides. So, yeah, we'll start with the mouth. Yep. There we go. Kind of goes. So it wants us to paint the gums. The annoying thing is we can't. The teeth are not separate from the gums in terms of the model fragments, so we have to just very carefully color there. There's usually a trick I use with a lot of this airbrushing, which is to dry brush first, which kind of actually gives you a amount of lines to color within. Kind of picks up the edges of it so you can more easily just fill in the center with the airbrush. However, the teeth on this would pick up a lot of that too, and we don't want that. Alright. Just about got it. On this side, anyway. That turned out pretty nice and smooth, I think. Touch up just a little bit. Yeah, that turned out pretty nice. So yeah, we'll turn them around here. Go for this side. Yeah, being old and arthritic, my hands aren't as steady as they used to be, so. Whereas some of you probably have, like, I don't know what you have a problem with. It looks very easy. It's like, yeah, well, doing steady, straight lines, not really anything I'm still good at. But, you know, this one's actually coming along pretty nicely. I got a little too far into the tooth there. And again, I'm a little retentive, I guess. Without using demonetizing words. Even though I'm not monetized. Alright, yeah, okay, so that turned out pretty nicely. So we're going to go for the eyes next. And I wanted to do these separate because I wanted to be able to come here. Yeah, that'll do. Because one thing I've noticed with... Oh, sorry, I hit the mic. How should we say dumb people? Is they don't have the eyes focused on the same thing. So I want to do a direct on face view so I can get the pupils right. Well, the irises and the pupils. So I'm just going to let this go until it basically fills the area. We're close to it. I think that's good. Alright, so now we can go to match that on this side so that it looks like it's looking directly at us. It's a little low. There we go, and again we're going to just fill that as much as possible. Alright, now what I'm going to do is just add a little bit more on the outside. Give it kind of an oblong, an egg-like shape. So it just kind of fades. There we go. Kind of fades back into the rest of the eye, so it gives it a little bit more color. Oops. Alright, so there's that. Now we're going to be doing... okay, yeah, we got that one. So now is the fun part. We are going to be doing his... Oh, Ah, dang it. Hold on. Now I gotta completely reset. Hold on. Alright, zoom in as tight as possible. Up a little. Alright, that should do it. Alright, now for, yeah, the really fun part. Again, want it to look like he's looking directly at us. So we're gonna put a little bit of a curve on it. There, that's pretty good. Now the trick is trying to mask it on the, or match it on the other side. I said mask. There we go. Add a little bit more to that one. Touch it up. There. That looks pretty legit, if you ask me. For as close as we're going to get to, and let's zoom back out to a more reasonable size, and yeah, that looks really nice. That looks really good. Alright. What was another thing? Oh, yep. Let's see if I've got it. I want to see if I've got any white. Or is really light. Mithril alloy. Yeah, that could work. And we're just going to put a little bit there. A little bit there. Just a little bit of shine. Alright. Again, because I'm... What? What do you want me to do? Are you kidding me? Are you saying I didn't do that? Alright. There. I don't know why that didn't count. Oh, because this is a little darker. I see. There. Yeah, that makes it stand out a bit more. Alright, cool. Alright. I guess that's done, so we'll remove the masks. And yeah, there's the body done. Looks pretty good. I'd honestly add a little bit of wash in here to kind of pick out some of the details on that bone. But hey, yeah, well, they call it good, so it's good. Alright, now we get to the axe. Get this all nice and painted up. What? Oh, I accidentally hit the back button. It's very close to this button. And that's the scales. No, they're not scales, but forget the term right at the moment. Alright, dry brushing. So again, tape. What do they want me to dry brush? Okay, so everything but the hand and the hilt and the squirrelies. Tape all this off. And that just means we can go kinda nuts on the dry brushing without worrying about having to repaint stuff later, or at least as much. We'll just do the same thing we did to the main model and make them all look well used. Like I said, you can get into a lot of detail with this game. And this is a commission piece, so we're doing it how they want it. But yeah, if you want to just, you can buy your own kits and just kind of go crazy and go ham and do whatever you want. Though the mission ones can be really interesting, and interesting challenges. Like I did on my laptop at work, I did one that had a tank that these hippies wanted to pretend that they had captured. So it's all painted tie-dye and with a bunch of like anti-war slogans on it. And then I'm also on that game currently working on a patrol torpedo boat that was captured by kind of Greenpeace. And so they want it all painted in like orange and purple for reasons. Then yeah, just some other interesting stuff like that you wouldn't normally think to do. So it's like it's kind of neat to have that. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, let's see if I can do that. All right, I think that's the axe. And as a staunch capitalist, if a hippie wants to give me money to paint something ridiculous, I'll take the money to paint something ridiculous. All right, now onto the shield. Get this thing painted up. I don't think this one actually has a whole lot. A little bit of dry brush. All right. Before we start on it, I want to tape off the handle there, or the straps, or I think those are straps. And dry brush it real quick. And yeah, you could turn down the sounds on the sound, turn the volume down on just the sound effects. It's as annoying to you as it usually is to me. I'm usually listening to YouTube or something while I'm playing it, so because it's one of those games that doesn't require the sound being on really to make a difference. So I'm usually not listening to the game at all anyway. But it does have a fairly decent soundtrack that doesn't get too repetitive. I'm not even a big fan of lo-fi, but that's pretty chill. It's no shipbreaker, but... Alright, I think that was the last bit on that. So we can go ahead and not forget to remove masking tape. Plunk him down, put his shield on, there we go. Axe and shield are done. Oh, I forgot about this thing that they wanted. Where is my sponge? I haven't even really used the sponge, so this could be interesting. That's facts. There we go, painting sponge. Let's... what do we got? Man, I really would have liked some, like, dark red. Do some black, do some, like, blood effects. But, do we have any rust? No. Yeah, we really don't have a whole lot to... Lime gold would be kind of interesting. Yeah, we'll do that. Try that on the shield. Yeah, gives it some interesting facing color. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Makes it look kind of verdigreed. And because apparently a lot of YouTubers, gamers don't know the word, verdigris or verdigris is copper oxide. It's copper rust. But yeah, that actually looks pretty cool with the green dragon dude. I think he gave him more shine too, which is cool. Yeah, alright, yeah. So yeah, we've got the painting sponge effect there. Something that probably nobody expected, but yeah, I just kind of decided on a whim, and it actually turned out pretty neat. Alright, so now we'll get to painting the base. And then we'll be done. A few little leaves, some happy leaves. And then I don't even know what that's supposed to be, but it's on every one of these miniature models. Just probably to make it look a little bit more different. Alright, now we're going to do something that is not part of the instructions after we do some masking, because there is a better way. Mask those off. Alright, so it wants us to airbrush these leaves. And we are going to do a little bit just to get that part of the job completed. We'll do a little bit of the center line, vein. And that tells us we got all the credit for it. And instead of airbrushing every little bit of this, we are going to go to the dry brushing tool. And hey, look how easy that was. And how nice it looks compared to our crappy airbrushing. And this is a technique I'll use on a lot of stuff. I think I mentioned it earlier, a little bit. Because sometimes, I'll dry brush it, and then on the it gives us lines to color within. So we can finish out the detailing with the airbrush. But on this one, we're just using it to do a better job than the airbrush, or at least do a better job than me with an airbrush can. Again, you guys might be more awesome than me, and in fact, probably are way more awesome than me, and could probably do it without. Alright, back to masking. Cover those leaves back up. Do the last part. And we'll remove that bit. And we'll dry brush. Needs to be moved over a little bit. Dry brush the black stones here. They're not really tiles, or else they're very broken, beat up tiles. Yeah, there we go. And again, you're bringing out, like I said, you can see it's bringing out details you can't even normally see. Like some of this part here where it's kind of ridged up or dips in a little bit. So it brings out, it really nicely brings out these details that you wouldn't even know were there beforehand. And we're going to do the edges because that'll bring up a little bit more detail. Basically, like I said, I flip around to every siding and see what we can do. See, even there's a little bit of detail that would have been missed right there. We'll get this done. Alright, that looks pretty darn happy there. Alright, so we'll remove the masking, and yeah, look at that. That turned out pretty nicely. Yeah, I think the last, yeah, just go ahead, go put it together. I'm honestly unsure as to which direction this is. Space. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's take a look at him now. So yeah, doing an all-over view. Looks pretty cool. So yeah, that's the that's the actual building aspect of it. And of course, there's way bigger models with way more pieces and are much more complicated. But I wanted to pick something that wasn't too bad time-wise to put together, but would still look cool like that one. And we even got to do some impromptu stuff that ended up looking pretty. I think that shield actually turned out really nicely, matched up cool. In lieu of blood splatter effects, which was what I was originally thinking. Now I want to show you guys one last thing, and that is where we do most of our stuff off of the workbench, and that's on our laptop here. So yeah, this is just the base desktop. Unfortunately, there's no way to change the wallpaper, which I think would be cool. But here's our shop. Hide unavailable. So we don't have we have a decent amount of stuff unlocked. First 2 levels, it's almost nothing. But a lot of these like shapes and stuff are not really necessary. They're all right. Upgrades, camera upgrades, which I kind of don't care about. So I haven't, and they're $50 a pop, so I haven't bought any of them. A ton of paints. Here, just hiding unavailable. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of paints I haven't bought. I've been working my way down the AK line. Which I'm about halfway. Yeah, right about halfway done with buying their paints. It's cost me hundreds of dollars. Kits. Again, hide the unavailable ones. Yeah, so these are the kits we can currently buy at our level, including old kits we've done. Anything we've already done will unlock as a buyable kit. Click to the available. There's way more models left that we haven't unlocked yet. Yeah, we'll get there. Let's see, and others. So this is kind of a neat section. Again, we'll hide the unavailable. So we got base coats like this, which are like here's the standard. Here's a standard one. Because unless you have these, it just lets you kind of free paint and doesn't give you any painting guides. And also, base coats allow you to just kind of quickly give this setup as a base coat, and then you can go from there with more details. Yeah, and then here at the bottom we have different masking sets like letters, numbers, shapes, and like here's the camo pattern. This pattern I haven't really found much of a use for, so I haven't bought it yet because it's $7. But these are very useful and they're expensive, but I always kind of check to see if that's available first. But yeah, so that's kind of how we do that. And here's our email. Where is... Oh, here it is. Here's the one that I did. What? Am I glitched? I think I exited without hitting the finish button because I'm a dumb. Yep. There we go. Finish project. Yes. Not just leave the workbench. And it goes into this area which does let you give you a picture. And so yeah, here's how it rates it. So of course we got it perfect because we're awesome. Yeah, it did an amazing job on the assembly because that's really not that hard. Base paint, again, not hard. Hand painting, you can definitely not get an amazing. That's the like airbrushing or using a paintbrush. And sometimes dry brush and wash effects will count as hand painting. Basically anything freehand, like the eyeballs or around the gum line there, that would be hand painting. Weathering, because because we weathered the crap out of things. It looked amazing. There's also a model preparation category on some of them, especially ones you just buy to sell on the auction. Where like real life kits, sometimes the sprues are crap, and so there's gaps or flashing that need to be taken care of. Ray sections that shouldn't be there, that you gotta file down and sand off. So that can so for like competitions that might be a big deal. But anyway, so yeah, now that's actually done. Now we can collect our money, which we got 150 bucks and 100 XP for that one. And we got no new ones. So yeah, that'll be kind of where we... Oh, and so eventually, via your inheritance, you get access to the studio, which is a nice apartment with a loft bed. Very pretty. We don't have access to it yet. And theoretically, in the future, they're going to give us more. But we don't have it yet. And then, yeah, we have the auction, so we can sell things we have built. I want to keep most of these, but this one we can, yeah, we'll go ahead and sell this one real quick. Show you how this works, and yeah, put it up for auction. Yes, I want to get rid of it because it's a French tank. And they are not great. So yeah, this takes a minute. But eventually you will start seeing bids pop up. And then after the time limit, whatever the top bid was, is how much you get. Still no bids yet. Yeah, we're just going to go until we actually start getting bids, and then we'll leave it be for the moment. Wow. Yeah, see, nobody likes French tanks. Oh, there's a bid. There we go. So the top one here is the highest, the most recent and highest amount. So it's starting to get some bids. Yeah, just like eBay, this is where you sell your all painted up models, because some people are lazy and don't want to do it themselves. Which I'm joking. The older I get, the less I can actually do, so sometimes buying an already completed and painted one would not be a bad idea. Yeah, you can make some pretty good money on the auction here. So this is a good spot to, yeah, like stuff you don't want to put in the case or don't care to put in the case, or if you need to make room for new stuff that you like better in your case, you can, you know, sell them on here. But yeah, I think that'll do it for now, and yeah, I'm trying to catch back up on the series. Again, I might try and stream Wednesday unless things happen. Like last week, I woke up way too late to start a stream. Also, I was trying to hook up my webcam to the desktop. Found out my webcam does not work. So I need to get a new webcam before I can actually put my face on the stream. So if you guys don't mind me doing it without my face on the stream, I can start streaming anyway, and I'll probably do that because I got some fun games I generally play that just are way too long. But anyway, I think we'll do it for today, and maybe see you on Wednesday. If not, I'll see you guys next week. Well, we'll give it a second. We almost got the auction done. See what we get for Le Buffle. There we go, 125 bucks. That ain't too shabby. Alright, but yeah, so that'll do it for me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.